Okay, now this here was one of Idi Amin's torture chambers, but at first it was an armory which was constructed from 1971 to 72. The construction was done by the Israelis because they used to do a lot of construction with the Uganda government, and they worked with the Uganda government until 1972 when Idi Amin got disagreements with them, then he forced them out of Uganda. Now, this, Idi Amin used it as an armory for only 8 months. And after those months, he got information that Obote, the one he had overthrown, was in Tanzania trying to get some military assistance to fight back. So he took away all the weapons which were being kept here so that he can prepare for war against Obote. Then during the preparations, he began arresting all those people who were suspected to be supporters of Obote and still for whoever seemed to be a political threat. Then lots of these could be brought into this place and was turned into a torture chamber. Now this had a strong metallic gate at the entrance, and it could be electrified. Then inside here, when you look at the walls down there, there's that dark green stripe surrounding this whole place. So whenever it rained, this place could be flooded by water up to that level. Then during the dry seasons, the soldiers could use some trucks to carry water from the k1ll Lake to this place. And this water could also be electrified. Then whenever the soldiers brought prisoners here, they could first switch off the power from outside, then force them to walk through the water, and they could first torture them using this electricity. So they could keep switching on and off for about 30 to 40 minutes. And they could do that trying to extract information from these prisoners. Then after that kind of torture, they could finally switch off and force them to climb into the 5 rooms which worked as the prison cells. So this had sliding doors on the outside, though all these doors were broken away by the last group of soldiers on this hill. Then inside the rooms, the soldiers could pack so many prisoners. They could have between 80 to 120 prisoners in just one room. And because of the limited space, and you can also see that this thing is underground, there are no ventilators or windows, so the aeration was also very limited. So many could die of suffocation because they could run out of oxygen, and others could die of starvation after some few days because here they could not feed them with anything. Then the bodies from here could be carried on the trucks and dropped on the roadsides, a few of them into the k1ll Lake, which is down in the valley, and many others into the neighboring swamps. And they could be eaten up by different animals and birds. Then Idi Amin used this as a torture chamber for 6 years. That was from 1973 to 79. And he killed an estimated number of 7,500 people in just this place.
7,000?
Yes.
7,500?
Yes, yes, yes.
Just this village?
Just here.
So that's the reason why now the king cannot sleep in this.
Yeah, he can't sleep on these grounds.
Because of bloodshed.
It's quite a lot of people.
So the place used to flood up to this level.
No, just here.
No, just here.
bad things about those people. Only bad.
Because
In that history.
now you wouldn't blame us for that. Because our tour, when it comes to Idi Amin, in fact, our tour should not even include Idi Amin. But it's just because of the torture chamber that we included.
But why? And it's history.
So if at all we were to talk about the presidents of Uganda, then probably that's where it would come in. That's where we would talk about Idi Amin. But if someone asks me about Idi Amin, of course I can tell everything about him.
But regarding this place,
now I can't come here and instead of showing what this thing was used to, and then I just say now Idi Amin was giving free sugar to people.
Yeah, you cannot lie.
It doesn't match,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
But if someone asks me about Idi Amin, then I can give them the information.
I have a question. Yes. Sensitive. Like those past regimes affected the kingdom.
But do you even know that Buganda kingdom loves Idi Amin?
Really?
Not even Obote, you know.
I've never had any good history about Idi Amin from a Muganda.
Ah, you've not talked to people. You've not talked to people.
And why do they
Let me tell you something. When if at all you go and ask people about Idi Amin and Buganda kingdom, they'll tell you a lot of good things. Now, whenever people talk about the escape of Mutesa from the palace, it was Idi Amin who attacked under the orders of Obote. But it was still Idi Amin who helped Mutesa to escape.
Oh, so he was executing his boss's command.
Yes.
But also protecting that.
Yes, because Idi Amin always took Mutesa as a brother. Idi Amin might have been born in the palace here because his mother was working here.
Really?
Yes. His mother was
midwife.
Yeah, she was a midwife, and she was the one that delivered Mutesa when Mutesa's mother was pregnant.
Wow.
Yes.
That I didn't know.
That lady was working here.
She was Muganda?
No, she was Kakwa, just like Idi Amin.
Okay.
Yeah, but she worked on these grounds in the days of Daudi Chwa.
Wow.
So Mutesa and Idi Amin, they almost grew up together.
And so that's why he helped him escape.
Yes, just because he was a soldier and he was supposed to follow
the commands.
Yes. Okay. He also attacked, but still he left space for his friend to escape.
Okay.
And still, we have never blamed Idi Amin for anything. Everything is blamed on Obote. It was Obote who ordered for the for the attack, and still the death of Mutesa in England is still blamed on Obote, not Idi Amin.
Okay.
Yes.
Hey, I have more information now.
And it was Idi Amin who returned the body of Mutesa for the burial in 1971.
And nobody could return the body of Idi Amin?
Nobody, because Obote had refused. Yes.
Which year did Amin die?
2003.
In the meantime, 2003.
But Obote was not ruling that time. It was Museveni.
Yes. Now, Idi Amin was overthrown in 1979 and ran into exile.
Yes.
So he lived in Saudi Arabia.
For all those years?
Yeah, for all those years. He was protected and well taken care of. Then
protected or in torture?
No, he was protected.
He was in exile.
Yeah, he was
when
in
exile.
When
you're under exile, you are protected by the country.
He was not like
a prisoner.
He was not a prisoner.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in Saudi Arabia. He was taken as a brother. Yes, so he died of multi-organ failure.
So, who refused the return of the body of Amin?
It was Obote. You mean the return of the
body
of Amin?
It
was
body.
Museveni. First of all, before Idi Amin died, his family knew that he was about to die. They requested the government of Uganda to accept the return of Idi Amin so that he can die here. He refused. Museveni refused.
What would happen if those guys had just come?
Nothing.
He would die anyway. Would be very.
Yeah, he would just die. But
Oh, he was old
you know,
by that time.
Museveni had his own reasons, so he said no.
Okay.
But his family tried to plead.
I have a sensitive question. If you don't want to answer on camera, it's okay. With that history that we get from there, the turmoil, then Obote, Amin, then Museveni comes back, reinstalls the king. Okay, different regimes have affected the kingdom in several ways. How has this regime affected the kingdom?
Now, this regime, I wouldn't say it has like done much, though the regime accepted the restoration of the kingdom. But even the restoration, it's not like we begged them to restore. This is an agreement that they were fulfilling.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know that when Museveni was fighting against Obote, he needed the support of the Baganda, so they had to give him conditions.
Yes.
Even the current king, who was just a prince in England, also had to come down here to talk to some people so that they can mobilize for Museveni. And then they had to agree that, you know, if you people help me overthrow Obote, then I'll have to restore the kingdom and also give all the property back. So we did not beg, but it was something that they agreed upon.
So has all the property been given back?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet. There's still a lot of property that is still being used by the Uganda government.
That belongs to Buganda Kingdom?
Yes.
For example?
There are buildings used by some districts, like in the villages there, and then some, you know, division councils. Some of those old buildings, they belonged to the Buganda government, because during those days when we lived under a system which was close to a federal system of governance, we had those structures.
Okay.
Yes, we had our own structures, the Magombolola. So those buildings, they are now occupied by the Uganda government. So they are supposed to give them back so that we can use
most
them.
of the property that the writer, the Gombola properties, they belong to Buganda?
Yes.
I thought they were government properties.
There are some which are now government property, like there is this Gomola here along Kawakanyagala Road.
Okay.
And then there is one in Makinde. Those ones were put up by the Uganda government.
Okay.
But when you go out of Kampala, those areas there, most of the buildings that the Uganda government uses, they belong to.
Okay. Have the tombs been finished? Can we tour them?
Almost. They are almost.
We can't go there yet.
You can go, but I won't assure you that you will get the authentic information.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But if it's just taking photos and videos, and all that, Uganda has been here for over 800 years.
Now I'm trying to imagine how it was 800 years.
What have you read about